Hello and welcome to this Black Talk Radio News Brief. My name, of course, is Scotty Reed. Now, you may have seen a video circulating on social media in relation to the security guard who was killed during the Buffalo white supremacist terrorist attack. And this video that's being circulated is saying that the whole thing was basically a cover to kill the security guard because he had invented a engine that runs on water. Now, every time tragedies happen, people come up with conspiracy theories, and conspiracies do exist, but usually when you don't have evidence of something, it's a theory. It's a theory until it's proven to be fact. And the reason I'm focusing on this particular conspiracy theory, because to me, it takes us down the rabbit hole and takes the focus off of white supremacy. It takes the focus off the U.S. government's inability, or let's say, not inability, but refusal to address white supremacy terrorism in the United States. So let's get to it. This is one of the videos I found. I first saw the videos on TikTok yesterday, but this one came across my news feed on Facebook, and it says there are people in high places with a lot of money that want to keep this a secret. So it says Shark Tank star Damon John offers financial support to family of security guard killed in Buffalo shooting. Former cop killed in Buffalo mass shooting invented a water-based car. All right, so you either saw this one or you saw some version of it. And then right there from the Daily News title should tell you that killing this man would not stop his invention from coming to market, because it's talking about this Shark Tank star is reaching out to the family to fund the company that he started to put his invention out there on the market. So right there off the bat, the conspiracy theory video actually tells on itself. You know, in critical thinking, you have to ask questions, and then you have to do the research to find the answers to those questions. But a lot of people who fall victim to conspiracy theories do not engage in critical thinking, whether that's because they don't know how. It's not that the education system teaches us how to critically think. It teaches us how to just regurgitate information. Okay, that's all it really does. All right, unless you're talking about some specialized education course. So I decided to see, well, what else can I find on the internet that's published this conspiracy theory. So I came across an article, Miami Standard. It was only one other article that was also mentioning this conspiracy. As you can see, now I did chop off some of it just to get the relevant section, but conspiracy, ex-cop killed in Buffalo shooting had just invented, and of course they're talking about this water-based engine that it is said he developed. So it says back in 2016, Salter uploaded a post to Facebook, that's the security guard that was killed, explaining his position at AWS Hydrogen Technologies LLC. It modestly read that Salter was excited to have started this company, believing that it is fully possible to power vehicles with water. Now let me just stop right there. Well, let me go on. I believe I can change the way we power our cars, boats, generators, and it comes from water, he wrote, calling the technology rehydrated hydrogen. And we can get one step closer to helping our planet rid itself of these dangerous hydrocarbons that are damaging our ozone and causing global warming to our planet. In other words, not only is this technology clean, running on abundant and virtually free water, but it also helps to clean the air of pollutants that already exist. Talk about a win-win situation. Now, those weren't his words. Those were the words of the writer of the article at the Miami Standard. Now, ask yourself this critical question. Is water abundant and virtually free? Now, as you see, Mr. Salter was talking about global warming. We're seeing droughts all over the world because of global warming. There is a shortage of drinking water because of global warming. Then you have corporations who have already been moving for a number of years now to buy the rights to land where fresh water sources can be pulled out the ground. So it is incorrect to say that water is abundant and virtually free. Now, if you make a vehicle that runs off of water, let's just say I go, pull my car up to the spigot outside the house and run my water hose and just put the water in the engine. Well, that's only going to increase the use of water, which again is not abundant. All right, it is not abundant, and while it's so-called free, it's not really, because we had to pay for the electricity to pull it out the ground. All right, so let's move on now. So right there, I had questions that I sought to answer, and it just doesn't make sense. Water is a diminishing commodity, and we need water. The human body needs water in order to live. Birds and animals, other animals need water to live. So it makes no sense to me to come up with an engine that runs on water, which I don't think that's actually what he was doing. He was creating hydrogen-powered vehicles. Well, guess what? He isn't the first one to do that, and already in certain parts of the world, there are hydrogen-based vehicles on the market. What is hydrogen? Hydrogen is the lightest element. At standard conditions, hydrogen is a gas of diatomic molecules having the formula H2. It is colorless, odorless, tasteless, non-toxic, and highly combustible. Hydrogen is the most abundant chemical substance in the universe, constituting roughly 75% of all normal matter. So while he's saying rehydrated hydrogen, that means that he turned it into a liquid form. But still the base element is hydrogen. So it's kind of deceptive to say that this vehicle runs off of water. All right, let me move on. As I stated, several different companies around the world, and the one that has made the most advancements in these hydrogen-powered vehicles is in Australia. But they're not the only ones. There are several U.S.-based car makers. There are several Germany-based car makers who are already have hydrogen-powered vehicles, have the prototypes out already. So who would have killed them? Well, either they are implying that the car industry was going to kill him because they didn't want him in the market. That has already been established. Or the oil industry, the fossil fuel industries. But again, it makes no sense. Then why these other people weren't killed? And again, you have cars already on the market that run off of hydrogen. So it's just ridiculous, for these people to make the assertion that they, in quotes, air quotes, because they don't name anyone, they don't provide any evidence that the terrorist attack, the white supremacist terrorist attack in Buffalo was all to target this one man. It don't make any sense. Couldn't they just easily targeted his home and made it look like, a home invasion, robbery going wrong, and they ended up killing him? I mean, they could kill him anywhere. It don't make no sense. All right? And that is to take a focus again off of white supremacy, to take the focus off the terrorism, to take the focus off the U.S. government, Homeland Security, FBI, all these law enforcement agencies who are doing virtually nothing to address white supremacy-based terrorism, but don't have a problem with rounding up Muslims and other non-white people that they accuse of, committing these sort of acts of terror. All right. And I've said in a prior video, on the world stage, the U.S. government under the Obama administration and then again under the Biden administration, on the world stage, voted against a UN resolution condemning Nazism, which is just another form of white supremacy. So this was a terrible tragedy that occurred. Mr. Salter gave his life in defense of life, and he is a hero for that, but there is no evidence supporting this conspiracy theory that he was targeted by the oil industry or these other car makers coming out with hydrogen-powered vehicles. And again, he patented his invention, and therefore his family can continue the work, as that New York Daily News headline suggested that they were getting investors. All right. So, why do people lend themselves to these conspiracy theories? Well, it's a way some people deal with trauma, and that's why they so easily believe these conspiracy theories without any kind of evidence, without using critical thinking and using logic. And it's just sad. And there's a psychology behind it. Look at the psychology behind conspiracy theories. And I'm reading from an article that was published on Psych Central. This section of the article is titled Psychology of Conspiracy Theories. Conspiracy theories often take flight during unsettling times. For example, in a pandemic, during a close election in a politically divided country, or after a terrorist attack. And so this exactly applies to the Buffalo terrorist attack by a white supremacist who published a manifesto in which he cited the terrorist attacks and the terrorist names that came before him, white supremacist attacks. Also, the conspiracy theory that the 2020 election was stolen by a whole bunch of black people who weren't eligible to vote, voting against Donald Trump. And so, those are just recent examples that fit what this article is talking about. So again, it says, why is that? Painful and uncertain times might lead many people to find alternative ways to make sense of such a shocking or painful situation. Following a conspiracy theory might help you feel you understand the events, and in turn, this could alleviate some uncertainty and anxiety. There's more to conspiracy theories than the need to make sense of shocking events, though. So let me just, stop right there. Again, another motive of why certain people might put out conspiracy theories is to, let's say, for example, the white terrorist attack in Buffalo is to take your focus off of white supremacy and to take your focus off the fact that the U.S. government doesn't treat these white terrorists in the same manner and going after them with the same amount of resources as they go after, let's say, Muslims who are mostly non-white people. All right, it goes on to talk about the personality traits of conspiracy theorists. Is everyone vulnerable to conspiratorial thinking? Not necessarily. Conspiracy theory experts have found that certain cognitive styles and personality traits might be common among people who believe in them. According to a 2018 study, people who believe in conspiracy theories tend to show personality traits and characteristics such as paranoid or suspicious thinking, insensitivity, low trust in others, stronger need to feel special, belief in the world as a dangerous place, and seeing meaningful patterns where none exists. So again, this isn't, in my opinion, these traits may have valid reasons. Of course, black people should have low trust in the government and politicians. All right. The world is a dangerous place. Okay. And, it can be healthy to be suspicious or to be paranoid, which might cause you to be on guard more when you're in public. All right, but this is what they say. You know, that people who normally fall for conspiracy theories that don't have any kind of evidence, supporting evidence, you know, they just tend to fall for that. But it says the strongest predictor of belief in conspiracy theories, according to the study, is having a personality that falls into the spectrum of schizotypy. Now, I've never heard this term before. So it says schizotypy is a set of personality traits that can range from magical thinking and disassociative states to disorganized thinking patterns and psychosis. Examples of mental health conditions in the schizotypy spectrum include schizotypal and schizoid personality disorders and schizophrenia. Not all schizotypy personality traits translate into a personality or psychiatric disorder, though. Many people have one or two systems of schizotypy but don't qualify for a full diagnosis. And I'll just add one more thing to it is people who are not trained or been unable for whatever reasons to engage in critical thinking. Okay? So I hope this video was constructive and helpful in you navigating some of the stuff that come at us after every tragic event, you know, with these outlandish conspiracy theories lacking evidence by these people who publish such things for likes on social media, or in the case of publishers, you know, advertisement revenue, because views on their content equals revenue for many of these publishers. With that said, please support the production of independent black media. You can make a donation to the nonprofit Black Talk Media Project by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com. Peace and blessings.